with Thanks for Riding. Welcome to Thanks for Riding. Brian, Andrew, and Mr. Muffy here joining us tonight.
Special guest star.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Well, okay.
$99
That's outrageous.
to get into the Magic Kingdom for one day.
That's only one park, though?
That's one park.
You can't go to the other parks.
You can't even go to the other
No.
parks.
One park for one day.
Oh, God.
They stopped short of $1, but it's $100.
Yeah, just
Let's face
round
it,
off.
they pretty much did it. It finally happened.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
Somebody did it.
Hit three figures.
What was it before?
Yeah, well, it was 94. I think this was
I think so.
a full $5
Oh,
jump.
it was 9.
And it just jumped less than a year ago. 9 months ago.
It was, yeah.
They're essentially doing it now every 8 or 9 months now. They're going up another $4 or $5.
Yeah.
And how much is a park hopper now?
Oh, to add that
Yeah,
on?
what's
Yeah.
if you wanted to go to Magic Kingdom and Epcot just for
people
one day.
aren't going to just go to the
what
one.
what is that? You're not going to go down to Florida.
It's an extra $35 to park hop.
So it's $134.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
For one person. So for a family
One person.
of 4, it's like going to be like $500 to go to like 2 parks for one day.
Yeah, for
Exactly.
one day.
This is absurd.
God.
I'm a little disappointed that more people aren't complaining about this.
That's shocking. Well,
It really seems like everybody's just taking it.
Yeah. Well, because what are you going to
Well,
do?
everyone is just taking it.
There's no, there's no like competition.
you
It's
can-
just Disney.
Well, and Universal.
There's I guess
They got the Harry Potter going.
people almost think of them, I feel like, as the same. It's like you don't do one or the other, you do both, you know? Like they're the same. Like for me, like I'm not a insider. Like I think of them as kind of almost the same. In my
Yeah,
mind.
but when one
You know?
is a fraction of the cost of the other.
What is?
If you think of them as the
What is
same.
Universal? It's cheap. It's way cheaper.
Do we even know? We should have figured this out ahead of time.
And they're more like cutting edge. It seems like, you know.
At this point, yeah, especially.
Right.
They're adding a new attraction every 6 months, more or less.
Yeah, and it's more like what, like the people like Harry Potter. You know, it's things that people want to, you know, the popular stuff. Not like, oh, it's a new Mickey Mouse. I don't even know what's going on at Disney World.
Mouse.
I don't
well,
know.
it's not that it's not known or popular, but it's just the same old stuff.
Yeah.
It's the same. They're
Well-
still doing Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
But what did they add
Little Mermaid,
anything? What did they?
you know.
How can they?
Well, like the Seven Dwarfs
justify this?
coaster is like the newest thing.
Oh.
That hasn't opened yet, right? It's opening.
And that's for
No, it's
kids.
supposed
June
to
or
open.
something.
Yeah, I think
May
they
or
say
June,
May, but
you
yeah.
know, which means next year.
who knows?
May or June next year.
Yeah.
Is that that's like a family
just a-
children's
Yeah,
ride?
just a family coaster.
Okay, so
Inside and
Okay.
outside a little bit, you know.
yeah,
Nothing
so it's not
major.
not Harry Potter.
Not even a major ride. No, it's not. Not even a major addition.
It's a family version of Big Thunder, which is already a family coaster, kind of.
Yeah, it's like the Junior, Big Thunder Junior.
Yeah.
It's got a little swing action to it, I guess.
Oh, right.
We'll have
yeah.
to wait to see exactly how that works out. But
I'm sure that'll
I-
add
I-
nothing to the experience.
yeah, I don't think it's going to swing out much at all. You know, a little like a Big
Okay.
Bad Wolf.
Okay.
You know, a little bit of that natural swing, but
But
it's
anyway,
supposed to be in a mine car. Anyway,
Universal, one park, one day, $92.
they're not too far behind.
That's one park.
No.
That's one
No, they're all-
park.
You know.
But what's their? Don't they have a much better deal though, where you can go to two parks? It's like park to park for 2 days or something. or
128.
What is
For-
parking in the parking lot? What does that cost? That's like another $30,
you don't even
right?
want to know.
That's
At least.
another, what is it, 15, 16?
Yeah, actually, not the priciest in the country.
Oh.
Six Flags. Is,
Yeah.
actually, that's the biggest ripoff.
It's like $25, isn't it? Like 25.
It was like 22.
I forget every year, and then I'm always shocked again.
I think it's over 20 now.
It is over. I think it's 22. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Unfortunately, Disney sets the pace, and then it kind of allows everybody else to also raise their prices. So now it's getting really ridiculous.
Okay, well, what this works out to is if you go 3 days, if you buy a 3-day ticket,
To what? Disney?
well, yeah, to Disney
In Florida.
it works out to be right in Orlando. It works out to be about $91 a day.
Oh, great! What a bargain.
At Universal, it works out to be about $54 a day.
By the time you get to the 3-day.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So I mean that's
Well, people are they're gonna go for the 3. I feel like they'll probably go for the 3-day because you're there, you're on vacation, you're not just.
Yeah, well, they're kind of forcing you into
right?
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Disney's been trying to do that for
Yeah.
years, where they try to force you to make your vacation all about them, where
Right.
they price out the possibility of doing SeaWorld and Universal and anything else.
Yeah.
So that's now they're getting to the point. It's $100 for one day, but hey, if you stay do 7 days, all in our parks. It gets at that point? It's like $63 a day or something. You have to go that far.
So what would it be for?
Yeah, 6 days. It ends up being about $52 a day.
Oh, even better than I said. And what's 7 days?
About $46 a day.
Yeah, so it gets reasonable, quote unquote.
Yeah, but you have to spend a week there.
Yeah, but you have to end up going to nothing but Disney parks, for all those days.
That's rough. 7 days.
Yeah, very rough.
How
So I
much-
think that was the question we posed before we were on, but what is the point that this becomes reasonable with Disney?
Oh, yeah.
And the answer never.
Right.
It's never reasonable, really, because you either have to sacrifice your vacation as a whole, or pay out the nose.
Well, how much would it cost, like a family of 4, going to Disney for a week? Like, what is it for a 3-day?
At this point,
How many thousands of dollars
Do you
is
want to
that?
stay on the resort too? Because
Yeah.
that's
It's got to be like $10,000 vacation, right? Probably with food, all the shit you buy for your kids.
How long vacation you said?
A week.
Just a week.
A week, and you're probably going to both parks. You're probably going to go like
You mean all parks, all 4?
yeah,
And the water parks. What if you want to throw the water parks in? If
And you're
go
probably
for a week.
Oh.
you're probably going to maybe do a day in Universal too.
Well, that doesn't cover the
That's
water
what most
parks,
people
I don't
do.
think, right?
Yeah, the prices we're talking aren't even covering the water parks. You have,
Yeah,
to,
those
add,
are
you have to
separate.
add the water park option, which is another
$55.
Ah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you are talking about $3,000 to $4,000 vacations,
And I feel
at this
like
point.
most people are going to Universal for at least a day too. If you're down there, you get them both in.
Well, so we're talking, yeah,
Yeah.
and then they're trying to make it so you don't do that.
That's never gonna.
And then the only way the only way they know how to do that is to make it so expensive to go to them that you have no money left
Yeah.
to go to Universal for that day or two. But that's ridiculous.
Yeah, of course it's
I mean,
ridiculous.
that's just
Then you have
that's
your
evil.
airfare,
It's an
which
evil
is like-
strategy.
a couple $1,000.
They're just bleeding you. They're bleeding you so that you don't have money to then take your kids to Universal and to see Harry Potter as well.
Right. We've said this before. They're not bringing in people by putting in new attractions. They're just trying to price you out.
Yeah. It's it's become Jurassic Park. It's not only for the super rich,
Yeah, yeah.
And we can charge anything we want, $2,000 a day, $10,000 a day, and people will pay it. And then there's the merchandise. And I can personally...
Donald, this park was not built to cater only for the super rich. Everyone in the world has the right to enjoy these animals.
Sure, they will. I mean, what, we'll have a coupon day or something.
Actually,
exactly. Disney is so worried about if they could keep raising the prices, but are they stopping to think if they should?
that's actually very apt, I think.
Ian Malcolm
because-
has some words of wisdom here.
Right. I agree. It is completely outrageous, and
I mean, what are
people really going to pay $150?
Do they really only want the upper class, top 2%? Is that what we're talking? Is that what they want?
I'm not sure. I'm not
Because
sure
they're
if
already
that's-
too expensive for a lot of families. And how much more do they want to go in that direction?
I'm not sure if it's that they only want the richest people to come to their parks. They just want more money.
Well, we know they lost a lot of money on the
is what it
Fast
is.
Pass Plus, right?
Oh yeah,
That was a money pit.
yeah.
But this is their reaction. Let's just raise the prices, $5.
Well, they're going to raise
A
prices
day?
no matter what.
But why? Why
Because
is
they
that
can.
an okay thing? I
It's
I
not
don't
okay.
understand why you
They
just
can
keep
do it
doing
because
that.
they can, and people will pay it. They are paying.
You
it.
raise a price, every so often, to keep up with inflation, but you don't keep raising just to raise.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah. Well,
because it makes more money for them.
Yeah. I mean, that's great. Then why don't you make it $150 now? What's stopping? Why bother, guys?
Because
just go for it.
Then that's too much of a shot. You gotta inch it up.
That'll get the backlash, but
yeah,
nothing else.
That would.
Yeah.
But raising it, whatever it is, $4 or $5 twice a year doesn't really bother. Well, not that it doesn't really bother people, but
unbelievable.
Like you said, there isn't a huge reaction.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering.
And I'm pissed that people aren't pissed.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And and we're not big Disney guys.
No, I mean,
we don't have families, so that part of it I don't care about.
I love Disney just as much as the next guy, but this is completely ridiculous.
But I mean, it's scary. I mean, what if I ever did want to have kids, and then it's the 100, and by the time that happens, maybe you'll be at the $130 level for one day at the Magic Kingdom. I mean, that's scary.
Well, if they keep,
I got to figure out how to afford that. I mean, what are they doing? It was never cheap. It was always more of a premium vacation that most families couldn't afford to do every year. But now they're just really going off the charts.
Yes. And if they keep raising the prices as much as they have to reach a breaking point. You can't just make it, $5,000 a day. There is going to be a point when they're going to start to lose business. They're going to see a drop-off, a significant drop-off.
Okay.
I don't know what that is. I hope it's soon. Well, as it is, I mean, we talked about this before, not on the show, but we have talked about this before, where you've said, I don't want to go to Disney anymore because it's just too expensive, and I don't want to give them the money. I don't want to give them the satisfaction.
Well, yeah, because I have a lot more fun at a lot of other places that are a lot cheaper.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's just, this is what it is. We're the best. Come pay it.
Yeah.
Or don't come. It's very arrogant.
Oh, it's extremely
strategy.
arrogant.
There's got to be a breaking point somewhere. I guess it hasn't happened yet, though. And even this current increase, I haven't seen anything besides the announcement of the increase to see if there's any kind of real backlash or anybody really cares. So,
yeah,
we'll see. This is one of those that I don't think it's really guys like us that would have to even affect this change. This is about the families and
definitely
the Disney devotees to really get to that point where they realize, wait a minute, this is getting ridiculous. But until that happens, I don't know, man. I just $100 for a day at a park.
Yeah, it's mind blowing.
That's just really nuts. And that's not like it's all inclusive.
Oh,
it's not like you get in
not.
and that's it. It's like, what about all your food and all your
parking?
The parking is still not included.
If you want to buy souvenir or get your picture taken or
anything else, yeah, pretty much. It just includes the rides and the shows. Whatever happened to Mr. Muffy?
Yeah, I don't know. She left suddenly.
All right. Six Flags Entertainment, the company, is suing Gerstlauer over the accident on the new Texas Giant. It was the accident that took the life of a 52-year-old woman back, what was that, last spring? Early summer?
Yeah, it was last season.
It was last season for sure,
point,
2013. Yeah. But I think it was somewhere still in the first half of the season because it had time to open by the second half of the season. Again. And we've talked about this before, so the story itself is not news to anyone, but this is sort of an update. Six Flags is suing Gerstlauer, the manufacturer of the trains on the new Texas Giant, trying to place the entire blame on Gerstlauer. When I first saw that, I don't know if I was surprised, but it's an interesting move.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're just trying to save their own skin and throw someone else under the bus.
So essentially, with that, I guess they're trying to say that they didn't do anything wrong, and the trains were inherently flawed for someone to fly out. Now, in turn, Gerstlauer has countersued Six Flags back, and they're saying that there was nothing wrong with their trains, and that it was Six Flags' improper operation of the ride, but at the same time also blaming Six Flags for what Gerstlauer is saying is that Six Flags was closely involved with the manufacture and design of these trains, and that Six Flags actually requested that seatbelts not be installed on these new trains. So pretty much, I mean, the family of the deceased sued both. I think Six Flags and Gerstlauer.
Okay.
Or at least they sued Six Flags, but I think they sued both. They just kind of a blanket deal. And I guess it's no doubt that there's going to be a settlement with that family, and that it's no doubt going to be a large one at that. So that's really not in question here. And so now Six Flags is just trying to say, Gerstlauer, they have to pay. We didn't do anything wrong. We want Gerstlauer to pay. Gerstlauer, in turn, is going back and saying, no, Six Flags has to pay. It's their fault. So they're really just arguing over who's going to pay what's, I'm sure, going to be a multi-million-dollar settlement.
Yeah, it's going to be big. You didn't buy that Gerstlauer's claims against Six Flags.
No, I think...
So why not?
It just doesn't make any sense. What Gerstlauer is saying is that Six Flags was closely involved with the design of these trains. And I don't know, that could be true. I don't really know exactly how these things work. There has to be some kind of approval. You know, they're they're going to ultimately buy it.
Yeah, they're right.
So they have to approve before it's put into production, and they're going to pay for it. But I don't think, because what Gerstlauer is saying is that Six Flags specifically asked to not have, they're making it sound as if Gerstlauer said at one point, when it got to that point in the design, we got to have a seatbelt on this thing. And then Six Flags actually went back to them and said, no, we can't have a seatbelt because that's going to lower capacity. It'll take longer to dispatch each train. There'll be more time in the station, and we'll have lower capacity. We can't have that. And, I call bullshit there just because when has Six Flags ever shown to be concerned with capacity?
Yeah, right.
Ever.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. I don't see where they've ever been concerned about that.
Yeah.
Their operations are generally slow as shit. They'll run one train on something if they can, if they feel like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not pumping those trains out most of the time for most of the rides.
No, and they never cared. And they have seatbelts on a ton of rides. Not every ride. It's not a blanket thing. Actually, I think Cedar Fair is a little bit more...
They have seatbelts on everything.
Yeah, like when they took over the Paramount parks, they added seatbelts to every Woody that was in those parks and that kind of thing.
The arrows.
Retrofitted. Yeah, so they're a little crazier with that, actually. But I don't see where Six Flags is specifically asking that they don't be there, because they do have plenty of rides that do have seatbelts already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, El Toro, for goodness sakes.
Right.
I mean, which is one of the more similar to the new Texas Giant rides that are in the chain.
I can't imagine anybody saying, no, I don't want seatbelts on this ride.
And ironically, the only person that I could imagine is Disney. Because Disney, even though they have no reputation whatsoever of being sloppy or
careless or
negligent in any way,
mm-hmm.
Not that they haven't had their share of accidents, things have happened, of course. But they are the one company that actually does care about throughput, guest throughput, capacity, getting people out, keeping lines moving. To the point that they're one of the only places that you'll go where you won't have that personal lap bar check every time before you're dispatched.
Right. They don't do it.
It's just pull it down and they do a visual scan.
They just check to make sure
and
it's
not
down.
a ridiculous, exaggerated, goofy, put my hand to my forehead visual scan.
Oh, that's so stupid.
Spin in a circle, skip to my loo, couple jumping jacks, whatever the hell. It's just, no, they look and they can see what's going on because they're properly trained. And that's it. And then you go. You're dispatched.
Them and Knoebels. I think
Yeah.
the only two.
So if anyone was ever going to ask specifically to not include, a seatbelt, even if a manufacturer maybe initially said so, I think it would be them.
Yeah.
And then it never really comes up because they don't build things that are very extreme, that could really eject you in the way that a new Texas Giant can.
Right.
So by not building rides at that level of intensity and G-force, I guess that sort of was what saves them. Never having any problems. And it makes them all the more confident to just keep doing what they're doing. And I like it. I'm for it.
Oh, sure.
I don't need that phony, some 18-year-old kid tugged on my restraint for a second. Like, that's going to really...
No. The person coming around to check your lap bar, to push on it, that's just to make you feel better.
Yeah, it really is a mental thing. It's because people will freak out if it doesn't happen.
But Disney doesn't do it, and nobody freaks out.
Yeah, it is weird how that works. So, I just think this lawsuit, I guess it's to be seen how it's going to all pan out. It doesn't really matter, I guess, in the end. Why don't they just split it? Gerstlauer pays half, Six Flags pays half. I know in the end no one wants to pay any money, so...
Yeah.
And I don't know. Do you have an opinion? Who really is more to blame?
I don't know. I don't know if anyone's really to blame. I think it was a freak accident.
Yeah,
And-
it comes back to our first episode and
So it's something you
just a freak
can't
thing.
really predict very well, if at all. And they couldn't have. All right, now I'm not going to go over this again. This is going to get too long.
Yeah.
So-
it just whatever.
I don't think really anyone is to blame necessarily.
It's unfortunate what happened, and I guess this is what happens in these situations. You get a lot of finger pointing.
Night ride. Thanks for riding.
Hey, I like Knoebels.
They got 2015 all mapped out already. That's early. That's an early announcement.
Well, for them, it's not. They announced Flying Turns a good 7 years before that was ready.
That's true.
So, what do you got to say about that? They like to do things early at Knoebels.
What I have to say about that? I'll say don't do that again. Try and
to
open
them?
your
You're
rides
talking to
in
Dick
a timely
now?
manner. Yes.
Dick Knoebel. Well, this one should not have much of a problem because it's actually from a known roller coaster manufacturer. I hesitated to say major. They do have a long history. They've been around a long time, but talking about Zero, but they're not really known for making major scale roller coasters.
Right. They did Verbolten.
Like I said, they're not really known for making good or major scale roller coasters.
They did Wicked at Lagoon, and that's gonna be. It looks like what Knoebels is basing their new ride off of. It's gonna be a Wicked type ride, which looks like a Zero's version of the Gerstlauer Eurofighter.
Oh, okay. Is it going to have those little cars?
Which is Mystery Mine, Daredevil Dive, whatever that's called in Georgia, SpongeBob, those type of coasters.
Right, is it going to have a little car?
Yeah, it looks like
A
it.
little funny 4-across car? 2 rows, 4 across each?
That's what it appears to be.
I was like, totally ripped that off.
Yes.
So it's Zero's version. It's got the vertical lift.
The 90 or beyond 90 degree drop.
All right, so they totally ripped that concept off to make a little steel coaster. So they're going to jump. They'll let us know a couple years ahead. They're excited, I guess. It's a compact little design, which will work because they don't have a ton of space there.
Yeah, I wonder where they're going to put this.
Yeah, they haven't announced it, right?
I don't
They
think
just
so.
announced the ride, and they have a few still shots. There's not even an animation yet.
No.
I don't believe, right?
I don't think so.
No video animation. It's just still shots of what it's going to look like, the layout. It's a little compact, intense looking layout.
So I'm excited for it. Looks like it'll be fun.
It's going to be a nice addition. If anyone actually listens to our show, you may have heard the Knoebels review we did from our visit there in 2013. We really enjoyed that park. And Flying Turns, we did miss Flying Turns by about a month before it finally opened.
Yeah.
But we got Black. We always had Phoenix since we started going there anyway. Mm-hmm. And Twister. And then you threw in Black Diamond. And then you do have some interesting flats and a couple of the fun. The Flume is fun.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a great place. And now you're going to throw in, I mean, Flying Turns is there now, I guess. We'll be ready to go from day one of this season, I would imagine, 2014, which will be good. And then you're going to have, not this year, but next year, you're also going to throw in a Steel, which they've lacked the Steel coaster since they took out Whirlwind about, 9 years ago?
Yeah,
before they started construction on Flying Turns. So, and this looks like it'll be better than Whirlwind ever was. So
Whirlwind was
I'm excited.
terrible.
Yeah, this is going to be good. You're going to have a nice little compact foreign versions.
Yeah, I think a Steel coaster like that with some inversions will be great for them.
So now, this is actually where I think this is a perfect application for a ride like this. And, this is fine. I mean, it's the Zero version of it. If it had been the actual Gerstlauer original idea of doing these kind of Eurofighter, it bothers me a little bit more when, I didn't understand why Six Flags Over Georgia got there. It was like some kind of flight theme. You go through a flight tower.
It was supposed to be like you were a daredevil pilot or something like that.
Yeah, some kind of stunt pilot, and you go over and under like a mock fake air traffic control tower or something was part of that theme, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know if you really need a ride like that in a major, full-blown park like Six Flags Over Georgia. But this is where, for Knoebels, I think this is the perfect application for this type of ride.
Yeah, I think it's a great fit.
Because I wouldn't, Knoebels is a park I wouldn't expect to get a full-scale B&M.
Right.
And I'm not going to crap on them for not doing it. Because I wouldn't expect it.
Yeah, it's not their style.
But then the other parks that
wouldn't fit.
Yeah, I don't think they have enough room. I don't know if they have enough money.
Right.
To do that. But Knoebels, I'll be there 2015, that's for sure. It's going to be definitely a pretty great. So they're going to have, they have the two Woodies, the Turns, the Black Diamond, and then there's 5 coasters by 2015. And then they have the Cosmos Curves, so 6 technically, if you include the Junior. They're going to be up 6 coasters by 2015. That's pretty huge for them.
Yeah. Wow.
They're rocking and rolling. I love Knoebels. This show loves Knoebels. We endorse Knoebels. Night rides. Oh boy.
Now this next story is kind of weird. Goliath, that's going to go into Six Flags Great America, just outside of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they have changed the design of the ride, of the Rocky Mountain wooden coaster or wood steel thing. We're not quite sure what it is exactly.
Yeah, the wood steel hybrid. The Rocky Mountain Oyster, wood steel hybrid.
So they first announced this a bunch of months ago, this ride. But now they put out some new pictures.
Concept art.
Yeah, where it looks like the layout is different. Not drastically different, but a little different.
I mean, the layout, is the layout really that different? I mean, they're definitely showing the support structure as being pretty different. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the first thing that I'm thinking, I mean, maybe the early artwork was just that artwork, and now they're putting out something that's a little bit more indicative of what the final product is going to look like.
Okay.
Which could be just giving them the benefit of the doubt for a second. Maybe nothing actually changed. Maybe it's just what was thrown out there to get the announcement out. And then now they're finally releasing a more anatomically correct, so to speak, artwork of what this ride's going to finally look like when it's actually built.
Yeah,
And that's possible.
I'm not suggesting that they actually changed the design at this point. I think the design was set. It was just...
Well, that's what I'm saying. I could give them benefit of the doubt, but then again, I mean, maybe they are changing the design still.
I don't think so. I think it's...
Oh, now you don't think so? Cause
I think it's set.
That's why I thought it was kind of a funny story in the first place, because I just thought, like, wow, I mean, are they really half-assing it this much?
It just... Yeah, the thing is, it doesn't give you a lot of faith in either Rocky Mountain Oysters or Six Flags.
Yeah,
Because
it's like there's...
What else is going to be different?
They're still designing. They're still, like, altering the design. It wasn't quite finished yet.
Yeah, it's sloppy is what it is.
It was announced. It was... Artwork was thrown out there.
If it wasn't ready to be announced, then you shouldn't have announced it.
Yeah, and then now they're kind of changing it a little bit.
Yeah.
I think you had the proper term, sloppy. It's just sloppy. You don't know exactly what you're getting. You don't. Artwork's changing midstream here. It's like, what's going on, guys? And when you get Six Flags, who I don't have any faith in to begin with.
Yes.
And then you have this. We joke Rocky Mountain Oyster, but it's what, Rocky Mountain Coaster Company? Is that what it is? Or Rocky Mountain Construction, or Rocky Mountain Coaster Construction, or something like that. Is what the actual manufacturer company is. We're gonna get it right here.
Yeah, Rocky Mountain Construction.
Rocky Mountain Construction, which is a relatively new entrant into the world of roller coaster manufacturing.
Well, they're new in the world of designing roller coasters.
Okay.
They've built roller coasters for other
manufacturers. So they've been like the contractor of record on a number of rides.
Yeah, like on their website, according to the website, they built El Toro.
Okay.
Villain at Six Flags World of Adventure, if you remember that ride from years ago.
No.
Tremors at Silverwood. So they've built some rides. They built some water rides. They've apparently repaired some coasters. They've installed sky coasters. So they've been around a little while. It's just they're new to designing rides.
That's like Giovanola.
Oh yeah.
They were kind of building or manufacturing the track for B&M. And then they got the idea in their head that they could design them on their own.
And Giovanola made Goliath at Six Flags Magic Mountain, and they made, is it Titan, I think, at Six Flags over Texas.
Right.
And that was it, right? 2 rides?
So, it's hard to have a lot of faith in this when things like this are going on. But in the end, I'm sure the ride will get built, it'll open, and that's my prediction. What are you saying, Mr. Muffy?
Thanks for riding.
Yeah? Thanks for riding on Night Ride.